this project has been developing, if I'm not wrong, for 15 years. So what would you say was the biggest change from the original idea, and where did it came from?
Oh, the original idea, we didn't change anything from the original idea. I don't think. The original idea was these two best friends on their way to a clinic to take a soulmate test. We might have changed the dialogue a little bit, but the original idea remained to the feature film. And then over that time, we started to wonder what happened to these characters over the next 12 years. And so the idea of only seeing them when they're together, that was this kind of rule of the film. So we see their lives, but we don't see what happens when they're not together. So as an audience, we're playing detective. And that always seemed interesting to us.
And I find really interesting the time jumps and the narrative ellipses.
Yeah.
So for you as actors, how do you manage to maybe build those moments that aren't on screen but are equally important to understanding the characters?
I think actually my instinctive response to that is that during the making of the film, it's an independent film, we're hanging out all the time in between scenes and setups. It's almost like we were living their life in some ways alongside the making of the film. So I never felt like we were at a deficit when it came to experiences that we've shared together. I actually felt like we created that, so that when it came to playing these sort of high octane moments in the script, we'd had the interstitial hangouts and we'd had the like bonding time to make it all feel quite familiar, which is nice.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of tension in this movie, but also there's a lot of comedy. So do you think for Laura and Simon, the comedy is more like a shield to themselves, or maybe it's a bridge to get them together?
That's really smart, David. It's both. I think it's both. I think they use humor to not talk about stuff, but it is also their shared humor that is their special sauce. That is how they connect and how they love each other. But it is also the thing that stops them. It's only at the only at the end where they say something serious. It takes a lifetime to say how you feel, and I think that's sadly relatable.
And something a little bit technical, sometimes the camera was like really close to your faces. Is there something that you're aware of when you're acting?
I think you hope not to be, and if you've got, we had a really great cinematographer, so usually the way that Benoit, was operating the camera, he was part of the story, and of course, great cameramen understand the stakes of a scene. So it's often it's more of a dance, but you're rarely aware of that unless someone's sort of like, hopeless at their job.
Yeah, it's weird. I think you just like, it's such an odd thing to do. It is like you just kind of have to lock into each other and pretend no one else is there. I don't know how, like it's sort of mad. I don't know, it just sort of happens.
And Simon and Laura aren't like for the test, they are meant to for each other. But how did you approach that balance between science and desire?
We very much did not want it to be a sci-fi film. It has this kind of core idea that is the starting point, which is this soulmate test. But beyond that, it's not about that. It's about two best friends who can't stop loving each other over their lives. And so we were very clear on, like, even though because of the time jumps of the film, it goes into the future, we kept it very, very minimal, technological changes, stuff like that. And if you notice in the film, every time they're away, the space gets wider until the end of the film, where it's like hugely empty except for just them. And I think that's like I don't want to tell you what to make of that, but there's a reason for that as well.
Okay, thank you very much, and good luck with the movie.
Thank you so much. Thanks, David.